Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. It is Talcott time, and I'm starting a few minutes early today, but want to thank the few who've already stopped by and left behind evidence of their support. Sophia Byrne, thank you. God bless. Big Stank. And I'm sure there are others who will join. I've already pinned the link in the chat, filled with inspirations today. After the short stream I did yesterday, and after reviewing it, where was my thought with that? See, I felt comfortable with the short presentation because I know the subscriber count, it's kind of fluctuated, and there's been curious people who've been checking me out from other places, and so I thought, a short stream with a message, as I did, it's something brief for people to review. Hey, much love, London. Yes, and I do intend to join you over there. So please check out London McLovin. You know what? Feel free to drop your link in the chat. What should you like, brother? And then, oops, there was something else I was going to do here. Excuse my distractions. Back to the inspirations. God bless. Praise God. Seriously, okay? Let's come to the here and now. I got a bunch of thoughts floating around in my head, all these ideas of what I was going to say and how smoothly everything's going to come out and everything's going to go. Right? So, I had all these ideas. The main thing is what I want people to understand. Okay, here's what I'm doing. For those who are new, 3 minutes in, you're finally telling your intentions. God bless. I'm here to share some hope, some faith, maybe some perspectives that might challenge your beliefs. My purpose is to kind of expand your mind a little bit and maybe soften the hearts of those where it's needed. And to do that, all we've got to do is to come present together. Because I know that's my purpose. And if I can stay present and grounded and share what I've experienced in the topic of increasing your awareness, well, I know the benefits I've received. And so here's our first practice for those who are tuning in and joining, paying attention. Here, you didn't ask, Sophia. Here, golly jeez. God bless you, Sophia. I did that, and I took it back. So done is done. And yes, please, Regina Smith, hope everyone is having a great day. Pale Horse Rider, God bless. Thank you. Faith in the intentions of sharing some hope. Because this world, man, I watch the news. There's a lot of craziness going on, and I know my own life. I have felt so isolated, so alone, so hopeless and helpless, and I've just felt miserable before. And I don't want others to feel that way. I really don't. Travis, I'm looking at you. This, and no offense, I'm trying to remember. There's some, like this morning here, brothers and sisters. I woke up this morning and hearing my name in comments being made and seeing some of the comments being made about me in the chat. I was like, holy cows, man, is this real? God bless. What's the worst that can happen? Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to help moderate, I guess. Um, and and hey, Sophia, that's kind of the point. No one wants anyone to feel alone or desperate. We all have this nature with us. We all do care. I know that. That's what I've been learning. I'm watching my signal drop. Hopefully, everything's still coming through. So, the things I talk about, we need to really kind of recognize, bring awareness to what is being discussed. And all these things are concepts. In this materialistic world that we've been conditioned to believe in, within our minds, good practices have been distorted and used against what helps us. Okay. So where my mind was going is this world has taught us to be real fixed, real rigid, you know, don't be too trusting, be cautious, to be strong and to be alone. That's what the world has taught us. But I tell you what, I think that's by God's great design. Because it's from the ever-giving presence of the Creator that the universe was sent out and to be explored and to be created. And then we, as beings of consciousness, that's what we are too. I think we're just like thoughts that have been sent out into the universe to experience. But all things that come from God return to God. I have faith we are returning to God as a collective at this point in humanity. This is such an amazing, glorious time for us to be experiencing together. If it's real, if it's true. But my life has really brought me reasons to question, well, to question many things. And by God's grace, I've been allowed to learn. And so what I've learned is the most important thing. The most important thing is the concept of love. Simple as that. What does love mean to you? How do you show it? How do you share it? How do you respond to it or react with it? What does love do with you? Because that concept of love, I'll be honest, I thought I understood it. I thought I'd experienced it. This brings us back to the topic of increasing awareness. See, we all each have an awareness of the past, okay? But we treat, when I say we, I'm speaking as myself, admitting my past behaviors and what I remember doing and what I can logically assume many others are doing today. We cling to these beliefs because there are treasures, there are memories. Cling to these memories. There are treasures. They're special to us. They're the only thing that matters. You can't override my memory. Memories are important, but don't let them fool you. People want to imagine they have an awareness of the future too. Let's come to grips, brothers and sisters. We can predict and maybe we can come to calculations and probabilities, but our awareness of the future, we ain't got none. We don't know what the future is going to bring. We only know the part of the past that, number one, we experienced, and number two, that we remember. Okay, so the past is not always as it seems. And yet, if you don't know the past, how do you claim to know where you are today? That's it's these are questions I never used to stop and think about, right? My awareness, what I was paying attention to, all of my awareness and attention was on, so many things, a lot of problems, how to avoid getting caught with my drinking, how to avoid, getting in trouble, how to how to avoid being comfortable, if I'm honest. That's where my awareness was at. Finding out reasons to golly geez, man, some of these people. What's up, Cynthia? I do not know why, but here you are. You would lose. I don't wear cologne. And I saw the appreciation in the shirt. Thank you. Respect to all who are joining. Holy cows. Yes, I realize that. Thank you. And yes. What's up, Cynthia? That was intended as a compliment. Respect. I'll receive it as such. But so here, I know I'm kind of bouncing around, but back to the idea of concepts and awareness, right? Concepts are these ideas. They're without necessarily. I'm trying to speak accurately. Concepts are usually without definable boundaries, right? It's a formless, a shapeless with a form, and it's formless with a shape, like our thoughts, with like our ideas. Our ideas are fluid. Our thoughts are fluid until our logic, the patterns of thought, they create these ruts in our mind, and over you're thinking the same thing. But if you can embrace the concepts of meanings, don't get so hung up in the details, learn the meanings and the meanings of the concepts, and then the details bring the clarity. And there is a concept to your life, right? You've got a unique perspective on all the information that's been gathered and collected by you up till now. Only you know what you know. Only you know what you don't know. I don't want to lecture. I don't want to offer suggestions that come across as being condescending or something. But on the thumbnail, and God bless, thank you again to the contributions of creativity that I've received. One of the things I've said before, when you can allow your awareness to escape into the all that is, there really is no limits. So here's another key to awareness. What is awareness? Awareness is that gift that we have where we get to pay attention. It's the focus of our mind. And the focus of our mind becomes very small when we feel insecure, right? When we feel afraid, the focus of our mind will turn towards survival, or just it'll go into darkness, into the evil. I mean, well, that's another one of the criticisms I've heard of me recently, including there's been so many false narratives of my intentions and what's going on with me. I'm not here to manipulate. I'm not here as a Bible thumper or as a hidden with a hidden agenda or something. I walk in faith in the path of the Christ. I mean, and it could and it might and might not be labeled as Christian, but you know, all I've learned how to do for myself is how to have faith. How to have faith that there is a perfect order to everything. And that perfect order is what reveals time to each of us uniquely. That perfection is what I call God. That concept. It's not a thing. It's not even a verb. It's not a power. It's a concept. All things that we explain, all things that any of us explain, it's imagined, right? We're taking imagined explanations for the feelings within us, and the feelings and the explanations come from our memories, because every word we speak was taught to us by someone else. It's fucking fascinating. It's so miraculous how everything works together. There is no separation between any of us, between me, between you, between the men and women who are struggling right now in refugee camps and prisons, in areas of conflict. What the fuck is going on in this world, man? Casey, amen. This is what I humbled myself to accept as a possibility. And the more I accepted this possibility, the more evidence that I've seen, more explanations I've received to confirm that it is true. For me, from my experience, my current worldview on this realm and this time, the evidence of perfection is existence. Existence is the epitome of perfection. It is perfection being revealed to us, for us, through us, with us, as us. Holy shit. You might be perfect? Holy cows, man. There's evidence of me right now, right here, being without sin. Here, I'll be quiet, and it's guaranteed. Did you join me? Did you join me for a moment of just sinless being? And now all we got to do is just continue this on, right? We don't have to think immoral thoughts, and we don't have to pursue temptations that we know are unwise, unhealthy. We don't have to. We don't have to willingly succumb ourselves to being sinners. I'm confident we do not have to. And hey, where's that comment? YouTube comments come up quicker than the StreamYard for me. That is the lesson I learned. Be true to thyself. Before you lie to anyone else, you're lying to yourself. And if you're trying to lie to yourself, how fucking stupid is that? You are the witness of you. And there's a true nature. There is a true observer. And what is the term that Dick uses? This eternal conscience or something. There is that trueness within us that is judging us, with us, as us, through us. And so the way to be true to anything is to be true to thyself. Just double. There's a different name associated. Is that TBE? Is that you in the back, or is that someone else? Can you show me?
What's up, buddy?
I am feeling blessed. I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling blessed, Jack. Well, that comment you brought up is okay. So be true to yourself. But what if you're in delusion? What if you think you're something else? What if uh, wh- what if that's what a troon says to themselves to keep them in self delusion, or a person that hurts children, or a thief, or a person that lives a lifestyle that's that feels normal to them, that feels good to them. Is being true to yourself good in that regard?
Being true to yourself first requires knowing how not to lie, knowing how to know when what is being said is true. And in that example you gave, there would be people that might claim to be true to their mind, true to the thoughts and the explanations, the voices they keep hearing. But within us, I trust that there is a divine intelligence within us, and feelings don't lie. Our explanations and our understandings will, our mind will, but I do not, I trust feelings.
Hmm. I don't know, man. Feelings are they're not exactly accurate sometimes. Don't you think feelings can be manipulated? Your emotions, feelings and emotions can be manipulated. So they're
Yeah,
not exactly true to what you need to source any sort of truth from. Sometimes feelings need to be reconciled.
Well, hey, welcome, Joe.
thank you. How you doing?
That's actually what I was talking about is to be true to thyself, you got to recognize when you're being honest with yourself and when you're lying to yourself. Um, and there's a line in scripture. I remember this in Bible study recently. Um, we pause at the ancient path, right? When we've got questions as followers, we're supposed to damn it, I can't remember the words, but the explanation I got is when you come to these decisions, you stop, you go within and ask yourself, seek honestly and lovingly, what is the answer? And I'm learning to trust that this is how God communicates with us, is through the silent, through the silent, through the silent voice we all have. As far as feelings being understood, we were raised in a society where feelings have been manipulated, right? This hunter gather and go forth and multiply. It's been twisted with porn and fast food. And anyway,
Capitalism encourages all things as well, right?
cap I've said this for a while. This current economic structure, economic and government structure, it profits from conflict. It
Yeah,
profits from chaos, from conflict, from trauma. And so that's why we got confused parents that are unintentionally traumatizing their children. I was one of those children, okay? And I was normal in society.
right.
Today, I've done a lot of shadow work. I've been blessed to learn from people who know this stuff. And I've also been afforded the time and opportunities to practice what I've been learning about going within, learning to trust. And I found my way so I believe, to follow the Spirit that's holy. And it is so simple. You just got to be willing to be wrong, right? You got to be 100% honest. And then just keep love in your thoughts.
Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path, as long as you keep him, which is love, in all
Talcott,
your stuff.
Talcott, what's the shadow work you're talking about? What is that? I've heard this stuff, but I've never gotten a real concise answer to it. What is that? If you could break it down for me.
I can do my best, brother. Shadow work, it's not a clear explanation, but basically what it is going within and identifying the parts in our behavior and in our beliefs that maybe have been ignored or maybe pushed aside.
So it's just an
Ignored by
edgy way of
us.
saying introspection. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, but it's
Very
the
hip
path
of
to
you.
know
Very hip
thyself.
of you, Jack.
Well, I'm learning the language. And actually, you know what? This is something I've learned, man. Language is so important. Our vocabulary will change based on our profession, based on our beliefs. Words like contrition, repentance, dude, those words were never in my vocabulary. I never thought about those things until God allowed me to start finding a more spiritual path.
Hey, shut.
Jack, let me ask you something. What's a good foundation for you? What's your foundation, sir?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, okay, when when you say you go and you look inside yourself and sort of look at your life and stuff like that, you know, people can't really sometimes. I don't know how to say it. People can't be sometimes trusted to. Uh, oh man, I don't. I'm losing my words here.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Uh,
You were
where do you source your sort of direction to know what's good and how to keep yourself from straying away? Maybe that's the best way I can say it. That like if it's yourself, for
Where
me
does
it
he go for
seems
strength? Is that what you're asking? Where does he go for strength?
no
Okay.
like your foundation of like how you ultimately keep yourself in line, keep yourself within from straying away from the narrow path, so to speak.
honestly, my foundation is built on experience. I've been wrong about so many things, and I have disrespected many good people in my past, and I have no intentions of continuing that pattern. So, how do I know right and wrong? Admittedly, a big part of it has been trial and error, and I'm very honest and open about my past mistakes, hoping, others may get a laugh at me, but hoping they can learn, yeah, shit, that's pretty obvious, but stupid. But to pursue it, TBE, where I live right now is now, in the moment, period. That's it. And with love. So I'm grateful right now, and then I allow my mind to observe and see, okay, what would make today better from what what's been revealed. So if I'm living honestly and intentionally, I do live to serve. That's one of my frequent prayers to help me figure out my day. God, where may I go? What would be the best for my purpose for
When
you.
you're in real life, Jack, are you a introvert or extrovert, somewhere in the middle?
I used to be one of those who like the wallflower guy. You know, I wanted to be just in fade away, unseen and unheard, but at the same time, very reliable.
Well, I think you're telling me what you want it to be. Right now, are you the guy who chats up the guy at the convenience store when you're buying gas? Are you that guy?
Whenever I can, I engage in conversations these
Uh,
days. Yeah.
I think like I think those like concepts of introvert and extrovert,
yeah,
it's like there for people to try to camp themselves into, you know, like
interesting.
people go in and out of intro and extroverts. I'd say in a day there are moments where you don't want to talk to people. There are moments where it's necessary to talk to people and engage.
Right.
So I,
I
I,
guess.
I don't get the idea of people sort of setting up camp and just labeling themselves. Well, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. You know, I, I
What
don't think I
about
don't think
what
I don't
about
think life is
shy?
that simple.
I'm wondering is if shy isn't a synonym for introvert. I hear a lot of people say I'm just shy. People who don't like to spark conversations, or who like to stand on the sides of the parties, they say they're shy. Is that a bad term or unreasonable?
That's not an unreasonable term. I think some people are just apprehensive
Yeah.
to.
Shy, you look really good, girl.
Thank
Yeah.
you, so cool. I came up to show Jack some love and show you some love. Since that was Jack's thumbnail, was that something about love, Jack?
No, today it's about increasing awareness.
Oh well, that's still love.
It is.
Yes, it is. So I'm up here to increase awareness on how we gonna show some love. Me and Joe Cool. Joe Cool, I got this. Wait, hold up. Oh man, what did I do with it? I moved it. Oh no, I got it. Wait, Joe Cool, I got it. I got it. I got my glass bowl.
All
Me
right,
and you
all right.
great. Me and you great share some love,
I
brother.
got one I share with you here.
Yeah.
You remember Biggie and Bean? She made that for me. She makes little things. She made that
Okay.
wave plan for me. And there's a sunflower somewhere. There it is. She made a
Okay,
sunflower
there it
for
is.
me
I
too.
see it. I see it. That's what's
Yeah,
up. But
yeah.
yeah, let's just show some love today. We went up on Paul's panel, all the females. We hung out and we showed some love. Show some love to Talcott. I'm here again to show some love to Talcott
Hey,
and bring
we
awareness.
All right, let me smoke with you, girl.
Well, Jack,
hey,
I asked you the question about foundations because personally, I remember Paul's. There's a verse where Paul says that we must hold every thought captive to the obedience of Christ, and that and I keep and I hold that sort of in my mind on my day-to-day basis, and of course I I have aberrances where I become a numbskull, but we fall down and we get back up,
That's right.
and
Only
but
when held accountable. Only when
that's what
held
I
accountable.
Hold yourself accountable.
correct
That's what men do.
correct and
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
but but that's what I was saying with you, Jack. Like when I was having an interaction the other day or yesterday with the Paul gentleman, he, that's what I was sort of getting at, where he was calling, saying I'm in a cult and stuff like that. But he sort of like reverts to this idea of just faith in yourself, and I sort of am just confused by that position because people alone. I mean, we can look in any direction of the world that people, if left to their own devices, I mean, look at the maladies of the world around us. If everyone is kept true to themselves, then there's a reason why the world is in the state that it's in. You know,
Meaning, I think you're saying that we need to borrow from each other's strength, whether it be people, books, something. We need to keep strengthening ourselves. I think that's what you're saying.
Well,
That's
here,
what I was driving at when I was asking about your foundation. Because if we just revert to ourselves, we're fallen people, man. We're it's a confusing human condition that we're in. We fall down and we try to do the right thing, but
Yes.
ultimately we can't use ourselves as a foundation for how to go about, because it's we're in a rough state.
hey, TBE, I I agree with what you're saying, and so so you have no misunderstandings. Well, Paul and I, we share many of many similar values. Um, I agree. In my observations of what he says, he relies on the Tao as being the individualist representation, and there is strength to that. However, what I believe, what Christ was teaching us, and this is where I do leave, this is where I do follow. Um, Interrogate every word as on behalf of Christ, right? So is this a loving thought? Is this a loving action? Is this a loving exchange that I am offering? Because I
So,
know.
you're, I think that you're saying that you go within yourself. You're kind of agreeing with Paul. You do get your strength within yourself.
And that,
I
listen, and go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Well, yes and no. Okay, I do go within myself for my strength, my will, but all of this comes from God
All right.
and the world. The world right now, as in its physical manifestation of now, is God in my experience.
Of course.
Okay. So if I'm always present with God in the now,
Yeah.
then I can keep my mind, grateful. And whenever I'm grateful, it's real easy to have my thoughts focused on, how may I serve? Because I'm sorry to be long winded. The question you asked was about others. I pay close attention to what is revealed in my day to me, and that is what others. So I pay close attention to others for the truth.
Is to sharpen yourself, because I think that's most of what my day is, and my biggest way of learning is watching you guys. And I know that if I see a thing and it stings me, I'm seeing myself in you. If I'm criticizing you, I'm really criticizing myself. So I use you guys to sharpen myself on a daily fucking basis.
Yeah, you find a lot to criticize.
But if something's getting under my skin, if I'm yelling
I
at you talking about be patient, Jack, it's really because my lack of patience. I'm seeing in you.
oh
I'm mad at myself, is what I'm saying.
Hey, Joe Cool, beautiful example for the topic.
Mm,
Increasing awareness. Your awareness of that,
yeah.
brother, that's a gift. And for
Yeah.
anyone who's listening, hear what he's saying.
You
That
are
res-
my mirrors. That's where a friend of mine put it a couple of years ago. You are my mirrors. We are each other's mirrors. What I see in you is my reflection. The things that catch my attention most are the things that's going to need the most work. My critiques in others are critiques of myself. Because if it didn't bother me, it'd go in one ear and out the other. When it catches my attention, as the fault is mine, and I know I yell at other people, but really, that's how I correct myself. I'm yelling at you about cutting motherfuckers off. It's because I need to work on it myself, probably.
hey, these conversations, if I'd have learned about this stuff 20 years ago, 30 years ago, holy
Yeah,
shit.
I'd be sharp. Yeah.
Hey, I've gotten feedback on the lighting and on
The mic looks all professional and shit. Yeah.
it's well the I got a new camera. I'm actually love this
It
thing.
looked
I think
good.
it
They
looks
would
good.
force it in the chat. They were like, "Damn, Jack looks good today."
hopefully helping to bring my light, because the light I offer,
Tell the truth, Jack. Wait, Jack, tell the truth. You hoping them ladies show up in your panel today, don't you?
I won't
Finish
lie.
what you started. Finish what you started this afternoon. I know you slickster.
Yes, I would love some females, and I get
speaking of,
welcome,
and you get
Lou.
low, and you get low.
Ah, you done ruined the broadcast, Lou. God darn it.
No,
We need more estrogen.
My man Jack always got that top button unbuttoned, man, like a gigolo. My man's
Yes.
a gigolo out here.
You know,
The ladies,
What we doing, my guys?
The ladies gave him some suggestions to go freshen up, put on a clean shirt, fluff his hair, put his little slick part on the side. Yeah, Jack, we see you, player.
hey, you know what? We all have our own beauty to share, and there's nothing wrong. I know society teaches us to put a lot of value on what we look like or what others might think. But you know what? If you feel good, feeling good feels good, man. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. So
this is true. When you're in that depressed state, motherfucker ain't showering, wearing, sleeping in the same clothes you had on yesterday. Suddenly you come into some bread and some chick likes you. Suddenly you're putting on cologne and cleaning the crib. When you feel good, man, it changes everything.
Dude,
You said when you feel good, you start doing good, right, Joe?
I think so. Yes, man. It changes your whole fucking energy, and it changes your life. If you run around that depression, I see how it becomes a circle, and it's easy to get into and hard to get out of. It's the same thing when you're doing good. When you're feeling good, it becomes its own building block. It builds on itself, and you get into it, and you get things accomplished, progress. And I tell you, one thing that makes me feel good is working, putting in my time, working every day, on my channel, whether it be editing, filming, talking to people about it. It makes me feel good, and it pays off too, right? It pays off in the chances that I get to fucking travel, see things, do things, talk to people.
But the amazing part of feeling good is sending that elsewhere. Sending that elsewhere to other people.
I agree with you. 100%.
Because what use is it? What use is it? You're just hoarding it to yourself. Oh, I feel good. What use is that?
I agree.
Okay. We must be good servants to each other, right?
I absolutely agree, bro.
You sound so good.
Stock went up. I don't even know.
You sound real positive, real nice right now. You know that, right?
That's good. Do not hoard that shit, man. Surely it's the best feeling is to give it away. That's fucking no point.
Thank you, Shy. I'm trying.
Don't thank me. No, don't try. Just do better.
Lou gonna have to leave and come back, or maybe he tried that already.
Lou is spiraling into the void right now. We need to bring him back.
He asked in the backstage if he did something wrong. Lou, I don't know how to help you.
Yeah, tell him his signal is bad, Jack.
Yeah, I think put you back to the back. Dang, see, these conversations, I would have run from these or made fun of these topics about Christ and God and awareness. But you know what? These things are so important for us to start thinking about, to start bringing more into our lives and into our habits, because what you were just saying about the energies, you get in the bad and it's real easy to just keep descending.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll bring others with you.
Yes, you will. Yes, your whole philosophy, your logic, the shit that's coming out of your mouth is just poisoning other motherfuckers and bringing out the worst in them.
Yup, and then you attract more poison on top, like cancer. That shit just don't work. Yeah,
we got you.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Me
that's
too.
better. Yeah, that's better.
Well,
Did you put that fire out, Lou? Please. We can't breathe over here. Stop fucking cooking roadkill on the damn in the woods, Lou. Please. You're killing us.
Listen, when you eat roadkill, you got to cook it well. Sly Shy.
But damn, Lou, you must have caught a lot of fucking roadkill. We've been smoked out for about a month now.
Really, you still got smoke? Where?
Yeah, we had smoke today, and I'm in Philly, right? So you can
Oh, yeah?
imagine New York. New York is the air quality is poor, and I'm going to New York Saturday. Joe, I'm going to see Eli and them Saturday.
Oh, cool, man.
Oh,
I
I'm
saw you
yelling.
with
I
them.
don't mean to yell.
I saw you
Yeah, I don't
with
mean to
them
yell.
on a video you posted. I saw
They
looked
came.
like half a dozen of them.
They came to Philly. They came to Philly because the first time they came to Philly, I was in Jersey, so I missed the football game and
Yeah.
hanging out with them. So when I this last Saturday, they all came and we had a good time. We really had a good time.
Good.
So I'm gonna go hang out with them Saturday.
Yeah, very good.
I caught a little bit of that live stream you're on with Chili and John Felix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, you know,
I like John Felix. He's good.
I love his angles. It didn't really come out in that little stream right there. Some of it did. I like his free thinking, right? He can't fathom some of the things that I call norm, that I'm trying to unshackle myself of. He can't even fathom them. To him, and the rest is a kidnap, paying a due as an extortion, and it comes natural to him. Oh my God, I love the way he fucking thinks, bro.
Yeah, and he adds that little comedic touch into it
And
every
he's
once in a while, you know.
hilarious.
And he hits it. He nails it every time, man.
We got a group chat with a bunch of us, and he cracks us up. The only time he come in there is damn near the only time is to crack a joke, man. He's fucking funny.
Yeah, the best one. He had that. What was that one that went viral where he says the cop says to him, "So what are you, a sovereign citizen?" He says, "No, I don't work for the police."
Man, I don't work for the police. He was like, would you feel safe if I
like
bring some
that one.
friends? He
And it
said,
was
no,
perfect.
I feel less safe if you invite some more of your friends here. I feel less safe. And it's just natural. It's just the way he thinks, man. Yeah. What do you think about Chili, man?
You know what? I got no problem with Chili. I don't know why people are so. A lot of people are really affected by him for some reason. I don't know. I think it was that whole thing that happened with what's his name?
Talib Kweli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out looking bad on that, and everybody just won't let him fucking go by, right? They just
it's something.
It's a few other. It's a few other things. It's a few other things that happen throughout the year with Chili, but it's the same with Paul, in Chili, and even Brian,
Wait. How is it the same with Paul and Chili? What do they have in common?
People will pick apart the character and not pay attention to the message.
I like it. I like it, Sean.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think people make excuses. I think people make excuses for their arrogance because of their wisdom.
Whoa,
See,
that's the ego. The ego can play a part in that.
Well, this is the part that I'm trying. Hey, Joe, I love you, brother. Steel sharpens steel. All right, so take it for whatever it is. You had a new release, and for those, and the link should be shared here. Maybe I can share it, but you did a new release. Even the dumbass cops in their uniforms, there are brothers and sisters. There is a divine within them. There is no separation from the divine, and even the things we don't like, the people we don't like. So I was observing the thoughts earlier. A few things, actually. Admittedly, I've been kind of critical to Paul when I first kind of encountered him. I was real critical of what he was doing. And that man, I continue to be impressed and by his ability to create, right? His
Yeah.
timing and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a local picture. Him and that other guy. What was the guy you're
Chili?
talking about?
Chili?
Chili. Yep. And even greater influence, Donald Trump. It's these people that have been arrogant, that have risen to notoriety, and it's up to us. We don't want arrogance.
I don't
to
know
run.
if you're throwing those guys that you named in there with Trump and the arrogance thing, because I was about to say, and I don't know if I want to cast Paul them in this, but those people who rise because of their arrogance, and I would put Trump in there. It makes me think, what type of people are these? What type of person craves fame and attention? He probably craves control. What type of person who achieves these things, what type of person is he's probably willing to do things that you and I are unwilling to do. For instance, an employer who's willing to give his employees a bare minimum while he takes as much as possible. So, the person who has a certain psychopathy will excel. And I don't mean a good one. I mean narcissistic qualities, borderline personality disorder qualities, shit where you don't have any empathy and don't really understand the next man. Those are the people who excel in those positions. I don't think it's a good thing. So that's why they won't throw Paul in there. I don't want to throw Paul in there. Paul's like me to me.
Hey, you know what? My admiration for him is far greater than the criticisms I offer him. Okay.
That's a blessing, Jack.
The systems are what has created what we are. Okay, Joe, what you're talking about is exactly right. We've got these economic systems where the cold-hearted, the cold-hearted will do what they've got to do in order for this entity of a corporation to succeed.
Yes.
And when I started learning about a lot of things, there's a description I came across about capitalism. It creates a moral dualism within our minds, especially for these people in executive positions. They want to serve the shareholders, serve the profits.
It encourages bad behaviors, like the cop. The one who gives the most tickets is the one who's promoted and shit like that. It encourages a certain thing. Same with capitalism.
Is that capitalism or is revenue what we have now? Because what we have now, I don't believe is capitalism.
It is.
It's more socialist. It is, Lou. No, it's more capitalism than socialism. You see your prices, Lou. You see the gas prices. You see the food prices. You see the prices of everything. We got a holiday every month of the year. They created a holiday for every month of the year so you can spend your hard-earned money to give it back to them.
Let's not throw Lou out too fast, right? A lot of these things, things that we do, we don't get a choice in. It's socialism. You don't. It sucks, but the U.S. Postal Service, that's socialism. Right, all of these fucking programs.
Fire department,
socialism.
But they get paid. But they get paid from us, Joe. Yeah, but they get paid from us. We take care of them, and then they throw it back on us. Yeah, we take care of them.
From its original intent and purpose and function. So the function is no longer a free society by the people for the people. Now it's crony capitalism. It's too big to fail. It's who's in is in, who's out is out. It's us and them. It's all that's capitalism.
I call it monarchy. It's the European shit under a different name, in my opinion. The president is the king. The dukes and duchesses are fucking congressmen and cops, even.
That's right.
Well, they always been that, Joe. That's never changed.
As long as we stay divided, we're going to remain oppressed and at war with each other. And
here's a great question. That I think you're right. As long as we're
not at war, Joe. Jack, we're not at war, though.
How do we undivided, because you're right, we terribly divided over race, politics, left wing, right wing bullshit. How do we soothe that? And don't give me no mumble jumbo about get to know God, motherfucker. How do we change, we stop the division in people?
By offering love. Okay, through offering love to one another, seeing past our opinions and our judgment and the memories. Right now, there's so much war, so much confusion. There's so many people filled with
All right,
hate.
hold on, back up. I'm sorry, I'm interrupt you. I want to make sure I got you. You're on to something. I know. You say with love. I asked you how do we get rid of that divisive shit with love? And a couple things popped in my head. If I'm arguing with some idiot who thinks Biden is the greatest thing going to cure us, or some idiot who thinks Trump is the greatest thing that's going to cure us, how does love get me to get rid of that, his hatred for the opposing party?
You come into the moment, because love, all things are experienced now, and love now, that's where we create the memories. So you're dealing with someone who's got the false beliefs in religions, in governments.
Yes.
You remind them they're humans, right? We're both humans, and we're both sharing time right now. And these things that we're disagreeing with, it doesn't have to interrupt our relationship, but it does affect what we are going to live through. So,
but I'll be that guy. But I'm telling you, Jack, man, Trump is going to cure us all. We all got to get behind Trump, man, and we got to vote harder, bro. That's the only way we're going to solve this thing. Now, how does love change my goof ass mind? Or you can insert Biden or anyone into there. How does love change that?
What I think Joe Cool is trying to say is when you adopt a general position of just love, well, what if someone loves Biden? What if someone loves Trump? What if that's their standard and foundation of where we need to go as a positive direction? It's not a good place to start. It's too general.
And it's too general. It's correct though. Whatever the answer is, it will be rooted in love. So he is correct there. But I do need a more practical answer. You're correct too.
Well, let's keep in mind, I know what others believe about my goals, but Joe Biden and Donald Trump are two names that I hope to find conversations with in the future, because they hold the position. I don't really want to talk to the people who think their fucking vote is going to make a difference. To me, they can go on believing as they wish, and I'll still pursue ideas of changing the world around them.
I think you're gonna have to manage your expectations there. You're never gonna talk to those people, Jack.
What would you say, Jack,
right,
if you had Joe Biden and Donald Trump as your audience right now? What would you say to them?
Well, let's do this because he gets vague. Let me be Biden, because this is gonna be fun.
Let's not put him on the spot. I mean, if he was to talk to him, I think he would be a little bit more prepared than just on the spot.
Fuck that. He's got to be able to do this. I got to be
Come
able
on,
to do this.
toilet bowl. Go with the flow. Go with the flow, man. Go with the flow.
All right. I'm Biden. This is my friend Trump down there in the MAGA hat. And you only got 10 minutes, Jack. What did you want to tell us? Damn it, I got fucking the schoolyard Girl Scout girls out there cutting the turkey. I got 10 minutes, man. What did you want to tell me that's so important?
Hey, Joe, I know you,
I'm Biden.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you three are on board of this mock presentation. But
I don't think this is
for several times.
Why would you say that, Jack? We just trying to have a good time.
Hey, Fly, let's come back to now. Let's come back to now and allow me.
Remember earlier we was having a good time. I don't want you to blow my
Fly. Yep. So I want to come back to the present, right? And the intentions of what this panel and what my time has been. I'm purposeful with my time. I'm purposeful with my intentions. So my intentions are to share discussions on increasing awareness. Okay. Now, Joe, let's bring some awareness I've faced these questions before, you know, and TBE says, Jack, you'll, with confidence, Jack, you'll never speak to them. Okay, well, you know what? I'm in the same boat. My hope and desire to speak with the citizens of the American government, to speak with my son, to speak with my neighbors, to speak with friends that I spent, you know, my whole life dedicated to loving. I have hope in speaking to people who actually want to believe in me. And one day, I think God will let it happen.
You know how God
Yeah.
lets it happen. This is how God does. He's not gonna, sometimes he does work some type of miracle. He's gonna put you in front of a guy. Before he does that, before you get to speak to those guys, he's gonna put you in front of guys like us who hold you to the metal and make you prove these things that you think that you are. This is
For
just
how long?
practice. Well, I don't know, because the lesson is repeated until learned. So apparently,
When are you going to learn what I'm saying?
apparently, it will go
I'm
on
not sure
for.
what you want to say.
Apparently, it will go on for a long time because you just fleed and ran from the lesson. You're getting good at that.
I'm just
Your
wondering
false
what you would
accusations
say.
are without merit. Okay, Joe, I'm going to
It's-
politely, I've already removed Sly.
I
Joe,
know
I
you're gonna
know.
run from that shit.
No, I'm going to continue on with my purpose instead of entertaining your ego, Joe. I love you, brother. God brings people into my life so that they can show me their ego and they can try and convince me how wrong I am and how much better they are than me. But I don't give a shit about your arguments. Okay? I'm offering the truth of me and what I know. And I offer it with love. So you guys can take it or leave it. Oh, you know, that was my thought for today too, is reminding everyone, let's be present, you know, let's be aware of the thoughts and what we're paying attention to. I'm here to offer the truth of what I know with love. And what I am offering about what I know is my experience of faith, the transformation I have felt and experienced within my inner being, which for 8 months, I've been interrogated about the results of my external being with no one giving a shit, maybe, about how I might actually feel. It just blows my mind how heartless people can be and yet claim to care.
I care, Jack.
Hey, Lou.
I do.
I
don't
know
want
you
you to
do.
feel bad.
I
I don't
know.
want you to have a hard time. I want you to be with your son or whoever you feel like you want to
Right.
be with. Obviously, you want to be with your son. I don't want that for you. I don't want suffering for you.
I know.
Right?
I know. I know.
Or
We're all the
anybody,
same.
even my enemies.
Right. I believe that of you. Guys,
Jack, can I say something?
please.
You know, I feel your want and need to change things, and it's quite a daunting task. But I think, you know, everybody has a degree of separation, and I think the biggest change that happens is in your own community and your own degrees of separation. This is where it begins, and you can scoff at it.
No, you're right. You're right.
You can scoff at it all you want, or I guess you're not. I apologize for that, but you know, this is where true change comes from. Changing minds and hearts is people that you see on a day-to-day basis, your neighbors and people down the street from you. This is where the paradigm shift starts. It's not this big ceremonious, you know, I'm going to stand in front of these world leaders and I'm going to convince them with a speech. You know, you have to manage your expectations. Let's start small, I think.
Right. Hey,
Let's grow
TBE.
to a bigger
Right.
thing. And
I'm
I'm not
not
trying to
I'm not
patronize
fixed
you.
on this. I'm
I'm
not
not trying to
fixed on
patronize
this.
you.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you feel if I'm trying to patronize you, but I'm not. I'm
Well,
just giving you my thoughts.
I appreciate that. And TBE, I don't mean to cut you off, but you and I have actually had fewer conversations than some of the others. So I understand how what I'm saying sounds, but let's back it down and maybe wonder why it is that I feel the confidence to say the things that I do publicly on record. Well, if I'm going to follow the Christ, if I'm going to follow Jesus, the example of the man that others worship, what would he do if he was alive today in the world that I'm living in? This was a question I asked myself in early 2018. If Jesus was alive today and saw the world from the mind of me, what would he guide me to do?
Well, let me challenge that point. Jesus never made any speeches. What does the Bible tell us? What Christ did? He went to town, speaking his message. This is
Right.
not this isn't like some global effort. He changed a region, a small region in the Middle East, and Rome. He transformed that.
Right.
From
Showing us,
little actions, little seemingly innocuous acts of benevolence and charity and humility.
yeah,
Transformed the world as we know it.
well, it started the work. It absolutely did. Through God's grace, we were allowed the ministry and the records of Yeshua, Jesus, and then after his passing, his original apostles, they did incredible jobs doing what you're saying, going town to town to ensure that the stories did not fade, that the teachings was shared, and even through the oppression of the churches, through the Catholic, even through the corruption and the oppression that many of our ancestors went through, by God's grace, the wisdom has been preserved. And there's not only the wisdom that's been recorded in the Bible, but God is allowing more discoveries, more explanations, more evidence to be discovered. And through all these pieces, I've been blessed. And right now, alive today, there are many incredible messengers, scholars. In the Bible, they'd be called prophets. Many people sharing God's wisdom alive today. And each day we've got the same number of hours as Jesus did, as anyone else. So what do we do with our time?
Holy fuck, Jack. I think I'm stoned.
Good for you.
I swear to God. And it's a little scary, but not that bad. But I'm sorry that I had to bring that out because I actually
keep in mind
the panel specifically because I didn't want to smoke that little joint myself.
Let's keep in mind, Jack, what the Christians of that earlier time were enduring. They were enduring state persecution. They were enduring state corruption. Christians were in the middle of the Jewish power and the Roman state. And so Christians had to live and do their best to spread the gospel among literally violent duress.
But the Romans were one of the first to adopt Christianity wholeheartedly. And they were taken by the people that were being sacrificed to lions and just standing there saying, praise Jesus, while these lions tear them to bits. And they were so taken by these people that they wanted their power. And they searched for where they got their power. And where they got their power in their mind was from Jesus. And they accepted him wholeheartedly. That's why they brought Christianity to more people around the world than anybody ever did.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let me jump in here because what you're saying, the state oppression and all this, yes, that stuff is happening today. When Jesus walked at that time, he stood against, the state, against the economic system, and against the religions.
I don't know about what do you mean he stood against the state?
Well, he did stand against the state by turning the tables of the money changers.
Okay. No. Hold on. Let me correct you there.
Hold on.
The reason why he flipped those tables over was people were defiling the temple where he prayed in.
Okay. So did he throw the tables?
Hold on a minute. You guys interrupted what I was saying to get off into this other damn argument. Okay?
Okay.
Sorry,
Can
Jack.
you have some awareness of
Sorry, Jack.
please, of me? So Jesus
Hey, Jack. How are you?
Hello, Cynthia.
How are you?
Please let him finish, please.
Is that okay? So the money flipping over the tables of the money changers was for many reasons. And when I said he was standing against the state, I mean, let's look at Jesus was murdered, okay, by obedient servants to the rulers of that day. And those rulers were in power at that day because of money.
Right.
Right? So we today, we're still dealing with the exact same problems. Okay,
Yes.
Rome never crumbled. It's here solid in America. And the fucking
Not true, Jack.
the synagogue of Satan is still continuing today as well.
Okay, but I need to clarify some things here because Christ was not crucified because of he was going after the Roman state. He was crucified because he was blaspheming to the Jewish Pharisees, saying that he was God. And the the Jewish Pharisees told Pontius Pilate that he was trying to usurp the Roman state. It was under a false charge of treason that Christ was crucified. So I just want to clarify that.
And what was the real reason? The real reason, Jack said it.
He was trying to free the slaves. He went out and he was teaching people the truth of who they were. He was teaching people the truth of God. And in doing so, he would have disrupted the kingship and the rulers. That's what we're here to do today, brothers and sisters. Hey, I got to address. Welcome, Paul, Joe. This was pointed out to me. Not intentional, but the moderator, I did silence all the African Americans I had on panel, and it was not intentional.
No, but listen, I'm Iranian, so it's all good. He's cleared of all racist charges.
But not so
fast. I'm not white. I'm Italian.
Don't clear him too quick. No, I'm kidding. Jack.
You know what they say about Sicilians, right?
What?
Yes.
Hey, TBE, you're a man of faith. And actually, I'd be curious to others' opinions. I have my answer on this, but does a loving God allow children to be tortured? Because it's apparently real.
Is God torturing them or are men torturing them?
Yeah, are you allowing it to be tortured? Can I say you're allowing innocent kids to be tortured? Is that really what he's doing?
I don't know.
No, that's a ridiculous notion. Either he gives us free will or he doesn't. We're not his play toy army where he goes around and he creates a world. That means we have no control over anything.
I don't know. I think
that defaults to we're incapable of loving anybody because now it's coerced.
I think that part of the rules down here is we create this. We put out the energy. We put out so much shit energy that shit things happen. If we grew up, put out positive things, more positive things will happen. I think that's true. I think those babies dying are because we do so much evil shit.
Yeah, I believe that there's cause and effect throughout time, and we're here experiencing many of the effects from the past and creating the cause for the future. And I do believe that this is the time that we who have been graced by God to become more aware, I believe as we unite as brothers and sisters in the Church of Christ, becoming the body of Christ together, we will be, when people look back in history, they will say this was the return of Christ, because the world changed when people started to believe, when people started to love. Because when people believe in God, believe in love, have faith in the future, they're not so worried about insulting each other, trying to overpower each other, trying to prove other people wrong. The path to God, though, you got to unmuddy the waters within. Our shame, our own shame, and our own, there's another word. Our shame is what prevents us from accepting the word of God, the truth of God, God's voice within our lives, the loving voice, the loving answer. This world of manufactured materialism that we were born into profits from scarcity and from fear. So brothers and sisters, I don't remember when it was. I think Sly or someone made the comment that we are not in a war. There is an active war going on right now for our souls, for our spirit. And the spirit is your emotions. It's the essence of you.
Yeah,
there's
a war,
war.
right? Yeah, we battle huge numbers of evil spirits in the unseen world. That is our war. Our enemy is not man. We battle huge numbers of evil spirits in the unseen world. So we have a war to fight.
I'm coming to believe more and more that there are evil spirits that affect. And if you can believe that, and if you can accept that that's a possibility to explain someone's behavior, and you
what
can
about
believe
this, Jack? I'm sorry. It looks like that evil spirit, if it's in another person, it finds a way to pull its mate out of you. If you ever noticed that. Whatever that evil spirit, he wants his mate, he wants to pull it out of you, whether it is misery or anger, violence, whatever it is, he's trying to draw it out of you too. Be aware of that, because I'm keeping my eye on that right now.
That mirrored energy.
That mirror.
Joe, you should see how many people they tune in to see the demon come out of me, to see the angry caught. They're like, who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it out of him today? So you're right, man. But that works the other way. That works the other way too. When we come in and we're just generous with love and encouragement, man, that will change someone's day. It'll bring their spirits in.
Makes me feel good.
Do you feel like you're generous with love and encouragement, Jack?
I am. I do feel that way.
What about you, Cynthia? Because I think he is. What do you think? I'm curious.
No,
that's all he fucking does.
No, I think he's love and generous in his words, but in his actions, his words and his actions don't align. It's been my personal experience from him.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I love this. I love that there are witnesses for this, because Cynthia, I know what you're saying. As we saw Paul pop his face on and nodding in agreement, well, that is where that opinions were formed. So are you open to discussing your opinions about me, Cynthia?
Absolutely. Well, I have some questions, because I heard you say earlier that people don't try to understand you or where you come from. So I had a couple of questions just to kind of make a better assessment, because I can't make a full assessment on you if I don't actually know you. And, I've had limited interactions with you, and based off of those, I can make assumptions, but I truly don't know. Uh-huh.
Can you do an assessment on Jesse Howell after? Because he keeps saying he's loving, but he called me a fat junkie, among other things, yesterday. The person next to you
Paul,
with the wide eyes and...
Paul, you can knock that off with all your nonsense. You demean people all the time. Get real, dude.
Amen. And see, you're just edging on your enabler, right? There you go, Cynthia. Let's keep going with the chaos. Let's keep going with the accusations. You know, so
why do you
I didn't hear
like?
her
I'm
make
always
accusations.
curious.
Yes,
I'm
you might be
always
blaming her for Paul's shit.
Did you
I'm
hear
always
accusations? I didn't hear accusations. She just said she wanted to ask questions.
no,
No, she definitely accused him of not being real.
I
thank
didn't
you.
say that. I
Well,
didn't say
No,
he's
it's
not
Joe
real.
asked her,
Would
do
you like
feel
me to
he's
rewind
loving?
it back for you?
hey,
Did I
yeah.
say real or did I say he's not
Love,
loving?
not giving
Yeah.
If you're
Tell you
loving with
what,
your words but
right.
not your actions, that's fake.
She said here her experience, she doesn't feel that it's loving. That's all she said.
Right.
Exactly. So how is that not real?
And
Come
you know
on, Lane,
what?
stop splitting
See,
hairs.
this is the
No, it's
egoic
not splitting
nonsense.
hairs. It's
Cynthia,
definitions.
if you
It's
cannot,
gaslighting.
can we let's all chill. We can have conversations when it's one at a time. All right.
Yeah.
But Cynthia, if you can't see any of the love that I offer, and you're just this blind in your deception that Paul, the false narrative of no actions. So your blindness is not my problem, sister. So let's discuss what is real. What is real is God brought you, and you've got a spirit of inquiry. There's a spirit within you that does seek to know, but there's insecurities within you too, that you've found strength being next to someone like Paul. And you bring that energy believing that it's your job, I guess,
Is
somehow.
that your opinion, Jack? Are you writing the opinions in your imagination now?
Well, do you believe the facts contradict what I'm saying or support what I'm saying? Because I'll bring facts. What are you lacking?
You know
besides
what it
your
feels
understanding?
How would
To
you
me, it
know?
feels like you're
How
turning
would you
around.
know?
Paul's just here to bully Jack. Paul's just here to bully Jack as usual. That's his
Yeah.
MO.
Oh, we're
Yep.
bullying. I didn't know we were bullying.
No.
Yeah,
it's
I
the
mean,
character that Paul
are you
plays.
self-aware at all, Paul? You're a bully, bro.
Yes.
I think it's interesting that Cynthia picked up Jack's forehead rubbing mannerism. The headache.
Oh my
that right there.
So
It's
y'all
a
are
self-soothing
bizarre.
thing
I've
where
never
people
met
have
a
to
group of men
self-soothe.
who are this
When they're
bizarre.
wrong, they have to self-soothe. They have to touch their face and reaffirm that their position is correct.
No, I'm rubbing my face because I'm not understanding how I'm unable to have a communication with grown men.
Blue
It's
rubs himself to
baffling
feel
me.
good too.
Here,
And
actually,
the perfect example.
I'm
Hold on, before
curious.
you boot her. Hold on.
I'm not going to boot her. I'm going to boot some others so that
Let me say
maybe a
something in case I get
conversation.
booted. Yeah, I want to say, Cynthia, I've been watching Jack, and since you brought up that you wanted to talk, he has been nothing but willing. So as far as you can have a conversation with grown men, he's showing that he's willing and he's giving you opportunities. He might not be in that assessment that you made. He's ready to talk.
It wasn't Jack I was referring to the ones that were and not allowing me to have a conversation with him. It was the other ones around.
Thank you. What can we discuss, Cynthia?
So Jack, in your past life, before your enlightenment or whatever, did you have anger issues? And I've had them before. I've had several anger issues.
Cynthia, right. I've explained my story,
but I've never heard your story.
What
Jack.
What do you want to know by asking me if I had anger issues in the past?
The short answer is yes.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The short answer is yes.
Okay, but I still would like to know what the relevance is. What picture are you trying to fit me into?
Be patient. It will develop. Be patient. And that goes for me too. I need to be patient too. I wanted to yell at you when I came back up here, but I was patient. I'm learning too.
It could boil down to a simple yes or no. Like you said, just did you have them or didn't? And that's it. Just yes, no. And then she
hold
can
on
get
a
to
minute.
her point.
Hold on here. Hold on. Let's bring this in just for a moment into my perspective. Okay. Just for a moment. Here's this stranger named What's Up Cynthia, who I don't know shit about, but she has chosen to make many comments about me under the leadership and under the wing of the same comments of Mr. Paul Unslaved. So I've been facing Paul for many months, telling him, hey, Paul, as nicely as I can on many different occasions, hey, Paul, what you're saying is wrong. Hey, Paul, that's a false narrative. Hey, you know, people are probably going to believe the bullshit you're saying, but he doesn't care. And so now here I've got stranger Cynthia coming into my panel wanting to interrogate me or interview me. And I'm simply asking, what is it you want to understand? What is your confusion?
There's so much, and I'm trying to get there, and you don't even let me get there. I'm trying to learn your behavior.
Move forward and stop complaining. Stop complaining and blaming me. Move forward. What would you like to know, Cynthia? Obviously, your pattern of approaching me, your pattern, I've raised some things to you already in what I've experienced with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I haven't once gotten, have I raised my voice? Have I?
Oh no, you're very passive aggressive. You're an excellent manipulator. You are an excellent manipulator.
That is your
opinion. An obvious one.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
But an obvious one.
I'm a manipulator.
You are.
Because I ask questions.
No,
yes.
Because I ask questions to the person I have questions about.
No.
Because I'm asking questions to the person.
No, Cynthia.
Instead of going to other people and asking
Cynthia.
Cynthia, because you're avoiding answering for yourself. It's not your questions. It's the pattern of deflection.
If I'm trying to learn something, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn it my way in a way that I understand.
Cynthia, what would you like to learn? We don't need to learn all about you. Not right here, right now, unless you feel that's important.
All right, Jack. Once again, I think you're incapable of having a conversation with me. I'm not sure why you're unable to do that.
Cynthia,
but it's obvious by your words.
Right now.
It's
Cynthia,
obvious
right
by
here
your
and
actions
now.
that you're not.
Blah, 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 blah.
Look how you're acting. Like, do you see how you're acting?
Can you stop? Can you please recognize, Cynthia, I'm interrupting you because you're complaining about what you are ignoring. Yes, I've been, maybe I could have been nicer and more kissing up to your little sweet ego in telling you that your assumptions and conclusions about me are dead ass wrong, lady. Okay? So it's not my job to kiss your ass, Cynthia.
When did I ask you to kiss my ass, Jack? Or where did you interpret that? Can you explain to me where you interpreted how I told you to kiss my ass?
No.
How old is your audio avatar picture?
Cynthia, please forgive me for falsely accusing you of telling me to kiss your ass. So the point is, Cynthia, right here and now, as soon as I shut up, this is the opportunity to do what you were complaining that you've been denied. Let's have a conversation like adults. Is that, reasonable?
I'm beginning to wonder if it's even possible. Perhaps it's everybody on the panel, and it should be you and I for the moment. Do you think that would help?
Can you please continue? No one's preventing you from asking what you want to know right now.
Okay. So when people come and ask you questions, or when they challenge things that you're saying, whether it be they're challenging you to intentionally challenge you, or they have their own questions and they need clarification better, you tend to become irate. And when I say irate, come on, guys, let's get off the subject. No, I'm gonna remove you from the stage. And when you think that Jesus was going around and preaching, everybody was like, "Oh wow, Jesus, this is the greatest thing you've ever said," and I'll automatically leave you the first time you told me? Or do you think that he met resistance and somehow learned to move past that and not allow that resistance to irritate him, but instead make him a better speaker or to speak to his word in a clearer way?
You went on with that god awful narrative that has no relevance that I can see to ask my opinion. You asked so what I understood from that long-winded question was you want me to compare myself to what I imagine of Jesus. But I would encourage you, as I do that, why don't you encourage yourself to imagine yourself speaking to someone who might have some wisdom to share similarly, but maybe, God knows, not at the same level, but maybe someone who has similar wisdom to offer, and then look at how you behave. Does that answer your question?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
that was a horrible
clarify
answer
your
to
point then.
That was a horrible answer to the question.
I think, let me just say, I think it's funny coming from this lady, Cynthia, who frequents Paul's channel, talking about someone that doesn't respond well to criticism. It's amazing the lack of self-awareness involved here.
But check, this is my
Thank
only
you,
issue
TB.
with that. She asked the question, and dude said your question is irrelevant, and turned it back on her. He didn't really give
Okay,
an
Joe.
attempt to ask the question. Don't get mad
Hey,
at me.
Joe.
Be the fuck nice. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, if I'm wrong, answer for her. Prove the relevance of that long narrative.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Maybe I could rephrase her question. I don't think it was much of a question. I think
It's
she's
disingenuous.
accusing you. I think she's accusing you of not being Jesus-like, not having patience. I think it was a long way to say that.
Yeah.
Which is hilariously
You don't have patience.
stupid. Which is hilariously stupid. You don't accuse Paul enslaved of that, do you?
There
I'm
you go.
sorry.
You
What
don't
was
accuse
that?
all of that. You sit next to him as he fucking belittles and insults
Oh my
people
God.
all
Y'all
day.
have got to
It's
get off
easy for
Paul.
you to. It's
Y'all
easy
have
for you
got
to
to get off
confront.
Not
Paul.
as if she was
Y'all have got to get off Paul.
It's
Yeah.
easy.
Oh,
for
wait a
you to
minute, but
confront
Jack
accuses
Paul of that
isn't it?
all the
Not a
time,
fucking
though.
Paul
Cynthia, how old is your profile picture there?
It's easy for you to confront Jack, right? Because he's a object of bullying over there at the Paul camp. You come over here to his channel and you're like, "Oh, you're not being real. You're not being Christ-like." And the lack of self-awareness in your mind, ma'am, is staggering.
She's new O'Shea.
I'm Cynthia. I'm not
Do you
nobody new.
You're definitely new O'Shea.
Great people day in, day out, ma'am.
Especially
people. Do you
people
not
I don't
see
know.
that? And you come to Jack with your qualms? That's hilariously like cowardice, honestly.
What's cowardice? Because I asked Jack
Cynthia,
questions and not
hey,
Paul.
Cynthia, can you please receive this observation? How is it?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Well, seemed you wanted to answer.
No.
How is it that you're able to find all these flaws in me and very little in the good? Okay, you see no actions, you see no efforts, and all of these other false narratives you've presented about me. Yet I offer that you and the others who frequent the Paul Enslaved platform are in a state of denial, where you enable arguments, you enable disagreements, and it's unhealthy. So how is it that you're able to find all this, these slivers in my eye, yet you seem oblivious to our mutual friend there? So
bam, the gentleman I see on his panel every day, to Paul, because you obviously don't see problems in him either, or you wouldn't be there every day.
Okay, but do you challenge any of his?
Do y'all want me to go challenge Paul? Bring Paul up and I'll challenge him if it makes y'all feel better?
Here's what I want.
Oh, now you want to do it.
And I'll challenge
now
him
you want to do it.
If it makes you feel better.
Now
if it makes y'all feel better, bring him up and I'll challenge. I've watched Powell be challenged.
You're a coward, ma'am. You're a coward, man. You sit there and you
I just
grovel.
said bring him up and I'll challenge him.
You sit there and you grovel.
Tell you what,
I've watched Paul be challenged.
Let's stop.
You sit there and you grovel to this man, Paul, and you come over here and you try to bully Jack Talcott.
I have
Get real, lady.
When Paul said I'm their daddy, I didn't understand, but now I kind of understand why he says that.
See, I think that she's
more Cynthia and OTW.
Get her out of here. Good for you, Jack. Get her out of here. What a clown.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I shouldn't have entertained this as long as I have. Okay, good.
I'm sorry, what did he say? Was that OTW talking to me?
Yeah, he was mumbling about something.
Yeah,
did anyone catch what he was saying? I mean, I put him to the back because it was just a moment of just absolute chaos. And OTW, I'd like to have conversations with you about some of the things I've heard you say about me as well. I think there's a lot of people on these panels who don't accept any accountability for what they happen to say. Hey, there's a perfect example.
Hey, Jack, can you bring back Freedom Grower? I don't think he deserved the boot.
Really? All right.
I don't think he deserved the boot, man. He's Dick's a good guy.
There
he is. What's up, man?
You're getting lonely back there.
What's up, man?
Twiddling my thumbs. No, I was agreeing with you, Jack. I don't know what I got the boot for. I guess my timing was off, which can be the case on occasion, you know. Don't always have.
And maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I misread. Sorry if I did, Dick. But
apology accepted. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks.
So yeah, I don't necessarily have too much to add. I was just listening in. It sounded like Cynthia was caught in her feelers there, and she wants to make accusations and whatnot. And what she was accusing you of, the little I caught of there, you've done plenty, Jack. You've said you didn't think Paul was being Christ-like on plenty of occasions.
Thank you.
That's accurate.
What I've noticed, though, is for whatever reason, God brings us people into our lives, and we get to figure out what to do with them. I didn't choose to have What's Up Cynthia join my life or choose to find an interest in me. And frankly, if she'd keep my name out of her mouth, I'd be perfectly fine. But for whatever reason, like I said, God, I blame no one. I credit God for bringing all into this adventure. And I'm not wrong about the things I say. Maybe I say them poorly. Maybe I'm not Christ-like enough in my reactions and my frustration. But brothers and sisters, seriously, for those of you who do and have been paying attention to what I'm sharing, there's something bizarre going on in my life. I mean, I can't convince anyone in my town to share a meal with me, it seems. No one has any time whatsoever. People have lots of opinions about me, and they got lots of ideas of what I should be doing differently, but no support, no invitations, no... Praise God, man. Praise God. See, and this is what I know. I do these streams and I open the panel and I know I have some general idea of some of the conflict that's going to come. I also have a general idea of what I hope to offer. But what I know for sure, this is evidence of me, who I am. Okay? If I do find my way into the UN or into some sort of office or boardroom where I'm taken seriously again, we'll have record of my efforts. There will be plenty of people who will be able to take credit for strengthening me up for helping me refine what it is I claim to know. But, one day, guys, here's what I've learned. And regardless of your opinions of me, come into the present moment and just allow yourself to accept. Increase your awareness of gratitude. Simple as that. Challenge yourself each day, maybe several times in the day. How many things can I be grateful for? And then once you fill yourself with gratitude, you realize you have no lack, and that's what perfection is. Perfection is that which needs nothing more, nothing less. So achieve your own state of perfection to where you need nothing more, nothing less within you, and then see how much better that can be. Guys, this is what I swear, if you try this and if you can understand what I'm saying, living life with faith, it is so much better than living life without faith. Because without faith, man, holy shit, you get confused, you start believing in lies, start getting angry, judgmental.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like Paul. You're absolutely right, Jack. Keep going, bro. Keep cooking.
There's
Jack, I'm just wondering if Jack, I was just wondering if Cynthia had something else other than your name in her mouth, could that change your mind about her?
If you're going inappropriate with those thoughts, that's just what it is.
Well,
not appropriate.
You decide
though.
what it is. I just said something other than her name. I didn't give you
Actually, she is still here, and I would always prefer to have friendships over enemies, relationships and connections over resentments and guilt. So
now that you put it that way, Lou.
I got a quick question. When it comes to faith, do you see a distinguishable difference between belief and faith, or are they pretty interchangeable as far as those words?
Pretty interchangeable.
Yeah, belief and faith. Is there a differentiator there? Or are they pretty much one and the same? And that's for anyone, TBE, Jack, Joe, whoever's got anything that maybe they'd want to touch on there. Because you were saying faith is the most important thing and to live life with faith. And I always try to, break down what people mean when they say those things.
They say faith is belief in the unseen, if that definition is okay with them, but with everybody. It has belief literally in the definition of the word.
I think that faith has an implication of confidence in it.
I love it. That may not be in belief. That may
the
not
etymology,
be there in belief.
I looked at the etymology on it a few days ago, and it actually originally was confidence, like a confidence that the future will turn out well, or something along those lines.
Right. So it's, belief is sort of is on the tail. I mean, belief is basically saying something is true. Faith is trusting in someone or something. So having confidence in something or someone. So they're closely
true, right?
related, but there's a nuance between them.
Yeah, I try to hone in on that nuance. I don't always see it. So I figured if you guys could articulate it for me, it might help me. But because it sounds like what you're saying is the faith would be in a person or set of events, but you're believing that it's true, right? So it's still
right. Believe. Those are related words, right? We believe something to be true. We think that it's true. So faith is a little bit more than that, I guess. A little bit more than just that sort of blanket statement.
Hey, I love this question, and I honestly don't have a definable answer for myself either, but I've spent a lot of time considering belief, faith, and knowing, right? Where is the difference and how do I know?
Okay, so my belief in Jesus Christ, I believe him to be real. I believe God to be Jesus Christ to be man-made God. or God made man, made flesh. And my faith in him is my salvation from this world. That he is the ultimate rectifier of all maladies and corruption in this world. And that there will be a new world after this.
But you could use it interchangeably, right? You could say your belief is that Jesus Christ is the savior of the world, and you also have faith that he's man embodying God. Well, it would be weird that I would say, okay, I have faith that he is God made flesh. It's a different, you see how the words make it sound a little strange? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't. That's why I guess I'm slow on these things, because to me it seems like the same thing. I have faith as in like I'm saying that I trust that it's going to be true, that it's going to happen. But that it wouldn't make sense if I say I have faith that he is God made flesh. That wouldn't make any sense, because that it's either he is or he isn't. Faith is sort of an ongoing thing. That he is. So that would be that you're saying my faith is that he is. I'm. No. In my belief that he is. Belief is stating that something is, you believe something to be true. Faith is something that you have faith in him that
So you're putting faith in the future tense. Is that what you're doing?
Correct. Are you asking me or are you asking me?
Yeah, no, I was asking you.
Okay. Yeah. I have faith in him and his correction of all maladies in the world and corruption.
This is actually a cautionary observation. When we find enough information and convince ourselves we believe, it can prevent us from that judgment. That judgment can prevent us from actually knowing. So we got to really be careful between what we believe, we've got to just choose carefully the thoughts that come through our mind and recognize that life is lived now. The eternal moment of now is where life is discovered. Our love, our answers, everything is discovered now. And all these beliefs, all these religions and dogmas, they're practices for us. We're not here for the practices. The practices are there for us to find our way and to grow in our relationship, increase our awareness with God.
Is that what they're there for?
I think so. Well, it's all, you know what? It's there, period. Religions are there and they've done what they've done. So they've done good and bad.
I actually think that on this point that faith, I think the meaning of faith has been skewed by religion intentionally to mean belief in the impossible, not to be derogatory or throw shade at anybody's beliefs, but there's a lot of things in the Jesus narrative that are impossible everywhere else. So I think that it's taken on that meaning when in reality it originally meant a confidence that the future will turn out well. And if you believe in the power, I believe that in manifestation. And I think basically they sort of redefined the word, and now everybody's doing the Sky Daddy thing instead of actually being made in his image and creating their own future through manifestation.
I mean, everybody has a micro form of faith, right? Everyone expects to wake up in the morning. Everyone wakes up to have the same things in the same areas and the stuff you own are in the same places. You're in the same place. You wake up breathing, doing the same things, going to the same job. That's, nobody goes to sleep wondering if that's going to happen. You have in that regard, you have, as Paul has a polemic against blind faith.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the way, and even what you pointed out, Flow State, and then Enslaved by Truth is kind of articulating it there, is he would have faith that he will be saved and believes that Christ is Savior. I could see how you could use them interchangeably, and it doesn't really change the meaning to me. But I guess if faith needs to be used as something that's to come and belief is more an immediate, like this is a absolute.
I think,
yeah.
I think faith is not. I don't think that's not a future tense thing. It's a present tense and continuous to the future. It's a sort of now and from here on and
your present
on and on.
orientation towards the future.
Right. It's not just. It's not a chronol.
You can't have faith in the past. I mean, I guess suppose you can if you weren't there, but
present orientation of the future. I like that.
I don't know personally if Jesus existed or didn't exist. All I know for sure is that I've had certain experiences in my life that, based on my beliefs of what I believe Jesus is, I have a relationship with that idea, and his message is what I try to resonate with more than anything. I may not always succeed in following his message, but the message is my ultimate goal. And whether he was here physically or not, in the end, doesn't matter, really.
Do you relate with the message of salvation, that he died for your sins and that covers your wrongdoings so that you can find passage into heaven?
Okay, no, that's a very facile way to frame it, Dick.
Is that incorrect?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, tell me where I mischaracterized.
I'm sorry, Lou. Go ahead.
You go ahead and explain.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, if I'm mischaracterizing the Christian viewpoint, you've got a better handle on that. So
how you're framing it is saying, okay, so Jesus gets crucified on the cross, and then all our sins are forgiven. That's not exactly the way it works. People still have to repent, and people still do sin. Okay, so what Christ is establishing is a pathway to redemption through him, and to not sin.
Your works plus faith, which is great.
Faith is a work
with that as well.
Unfortunately,
the point being, though, without belief, regardless of the works, he wouldn't find his way to heaven. So it must be to believe upon Christ and his work for you to enter heaven, right?
So when people, this is a very popular Protestant sort of almost Calvinist paradigm, where they say that all you are justified is faith in Christ, and that's all that matters. This is what Martin Luther decreed. He said that you could have sex 1,000 times or kill 1,000 times and you would still be saved. This is absolute heresy and makes no sense, because in the Bible, if we read it, we are constantly reminded not to sin, not to fall away from the path, to pray without ceasing, to stay on. That means that you can't just live on this which Paul liked to strawman me yesterday and say, all I got to do is believe in Jesus and that's it, which is ridiculous, and it's a childish view of what we believe as Christians. That's not true.
The Lutheran Church is once saved, always saved. Is that what you're saying?
The Lutherans, I believe, adopt the tulip thing. Once saved, yeah. I believe they believe, but it's different. That's the thing with Protestants and the sea of denominations. It's hard to say, this Protestant church believes these things and this Protestant church believes things. It really just it differs, and this is why I belong to the Orthodox Church, is because we have a clear, concise view of Scripture. That, I mean, it really depends on who you talk to, but yes, there are people that believe in this idea of eternal security, where if I confess Christ as Lord and I have faith in Christ, that I am saved from here, and it doesn't matter what I do, that I will enter heaven, which is a ridiculous notion, because you can confess Christ as Lord and then just be an abomination to everyone around you. And that makes no sense, and it's not scripturally backed at all.
But isn't the whole paradigm sort of ridiculous? Like the heaven, hell, you have to pass the test paradigm. Like imagine. Do you think the dinosaurs?
So you don't believe in justice? You don't
You
believe
think the
in good and
dinosaurs
evil.
went extinct because of their sins?
Okay, so Flow State.
Hey.
So, do you believe in justice? Do you believe that people should be punished for things that they do wrong?
I do, which is why the paradigm doesn't make sense to me.
How does it not make sense to you? And hold on, before I get to that, I wanted to address something with Dick.
And I'm not trying to be antagonistic.
No,
I hear
you're
a little
not. No, you're
spice in
not,
your
bro.
voice.
You're not. Nothing you say is antagonistic. Questions are not antagonistic to me. But I want to address something to Dick. You said we were talking about the Aboriginal thing, and it was hard to. I was trying to get back to you at some point, but going back and forth with Paul, he tries to drown me out, and does the, back and
I
forth.
think I did catch your position though. You were
But
saying that
the indigenous thing, I wanted to just say that, exceptions to the rule doesn't make the exception the rule. Because people in the indigenous never heard the gospel doesn't mean that people that heard the gospel are allowed to sit here and reject it. You see what
can't
I'm
reject something
saying?
that they haven't heard. So how do they reject something that they
No. What I'm saying is, okay, so that's the exception. The exception is, and I cannot speak for that. I cannot speak for God, and I cannot sit here and condemn people that have never heard the gospel of Christ. I can't do that. That's up to God's providence. Okay,
I got a shot at that one.
But what you can't do is go, oh well, like what Paul was saying to me was, he was like, oh well, they didn't hear it, so. But he was basically saying was, well, they didn't hear it, so why do I need it? You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. That's not the same. Exceptions to the rule doesn't make the exception the rule. This is where the thief on the cross theology comes into. It's like, well, why did the thief on the cross didn't need a building to go to, or a church, or a communion, or Eucharist, or nothing like that? Well, I don't need to. That's ridiculous. That's up to God. That's up to God's providence to make that judgment.
Hey, Toilet Bowl,
otherwise, in the other 90% of God's commands, he's very explicit about what you need to do. Okay, that thief on the cross wasn't around for the ministry, was he? He wasn't. But that's God's providence. He's the perfect judge. He does what he does to. I mean that's.
I think he judged his heart. He saw the honor that he held at that point.
What did he do? He confessed Christ as Lord. That's what he did on the cross.
Yeah,
Are
but
people
he got
doing
that
that?
chance.
But if and again, so maybe I'm mischaracterizing it, but regardless of the works, if God judges that being without the blood of Christ covering his sins, then he's not going to end up in a good place. That's the way I've always understood it. Is that not correct?
That's a very dialectical, very strange position, and that's the problem. And I've talked to you about this, Dick, about how people take the Bible, and without the church, people taking the Bible to interpret it on themselves and start their own churches, which is what Protestant denominations are. They start their own churches because they say they're Bible-believing Christians, like the Bible is the sole authority of God, which I don't believe. And this is the problem with that. This is what happens. People have bad theology and flunky theology that
what is correct theology, though? Correct me on my mischaracterization. Then how do you get saved?
Well, let me correct one thing you said also yesterday. You said, we need to go to seminary and do all these things. There's nothing that the church ever says that we need to go to seminary to be Christians and be saved. That's completely not true. Okay.
Are you Roman Catholic, Toilet Bowl?
No,
He's
I'm
Orthodox, but it's similar to Catholicism,
okay.
and I'd like to hear what you view as the differences between Catholicism and Orthodox as well.
Well, I mean, we don't have a whole lot of differences except that the big one, which is where our
books.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can
I'm
we
sorry,
move
Talcott.
beyond
Can we just sideline you, man? I'm sorry, bro. Come back, bro. Sorry.
Well,
Can we make this about Jack, please?
Yes.
Well,
can I do what I always do? Can I share something really quick and leave in 30 seconds?
Jack, come back, man. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to hijack the stream here. I was just talking, man. I'm sorry.
No, respect. I appreciate the way you're demonstrating. You and EBT you've got a different perspective and far different education than I do. I enjoy listening to it. If we may, though, Smith, what have you got, man?
Hey, thanks. So I got Mark 3:29, but he that shall blaspheme against the Holy Ghost hath never forgiveness, but is in danger of eternal damnation. And then I don't know if people are aware that the Oxford Dictionary has taken the word sin out of the dictionary this year. They said that the reason is it has fallen into disuse and it's not recognized by the younger generation. I mean, just do as thou wilt. Right, Dick? I see you giving me that look. How you doing? I just wanted to share that with people.
So because they took sin out of the dictionary, now we should just do as thou wilt? And
no,
so
we shouldn't.
Characterizing
we shouldn't. We definitely should not do that.
Aleister Crowley's.
No. I'm making a joke of it. I'm making a joke of it because my point is God's real. I love what Toilet Earth always has to share, and I love Jack's positive energy.
You guys are in alignment in your views.
Panel? Jesse, Lou, anybody on there? God bless y'all. I just wanted to share that.
Do you like to be challenged in your views, Smith?
Thanks,
What's
brother.
that? No, I'm not. It's just Jack's show.
Fair enough. Then it's probably why your feathers are ruffled when you talk to me.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you another time. I'm not trying to do it on Jack's show. You're a punk.
Anytime, brother. I'm gonna call you things to make my points.
Yikes!
I would like to, if we could, bring the topic to God. I mean, beyond the religion, because there's many different variations, and history is just absolutely fascinating. But here, can anyone disagree that God speaks in signs, right? Signs and symbols, and the symbols I see revealed through the Bible is that God is the truth, and the symbol of Christ is love. So follow the truth, seek the truth, share the truth, be the truth, and allow love to lead. And I think if humans do that, there's the problem of our religions. I mean, that's not wrong, is it, TBE?
I mean, no, that's not wrong, but it's too general of a platitude to have. I mean, everyone is going to love things, right? Some people love the wrong things. But I get what you're saying. But I mean, it's a wonderful platitude to have, and I'm with you there. But men are not in the state to accept that message at all,
brother. Hey, the only ones that it matters to are the ones who have the opportunity to receive the message. And if you can receive the message that, truth and love are the reasons for living, it'll simplify your life. And that ego is the resistance. The ego is that part of us that says, no, I don't have the evidence to convince me, so I'm gonna continue to carry my unease and my doubt, and I'm gonna continue to carry my old ways of living. I'm telling you guys, break free.
I'm ordering pizza. Does anyone else here want pizza?
Fuck yeah. Canadian bacon, pineapple, and jalapenos.
That's disgusting.
Not interested. That is disgusting.
That's filthy,
disgusting.
Bro. That's filthy, bro. What's wrong with you?
You guys have no taste.
Coming from you, that means absolutely nothing, Flow State.
That's fine. What are you sipping on there?
Some dandelion tea.
See, so I rest my case.
Enjoy your liver damage you're probably doing.
Enjoy your yard waste.
Yeah, I use the healing herbs for healing myself. And
does it taste like the inside of a lawnmower bag?
Let's just be ignorant and suffer for lack of knowledge and wisdom.
Actually, tea, herbs, and natural things are much healthier than organic and made products by man.
Don't make me bring urine therapy back up.
Chicory.
No.
No, Jack, no. Please, no. How you doing, Jack?
Brother, the future will let me know. The future will tell me how.
But all we have is now. All we have is now.
I know, but hey, brother, thank you. I mean, that question for me to answer, I feel blessed, but I don't know what's going on.
What is God to you, Jack? What does God mean?
God is all that is. Time. Well, that's it. God is all that is. And
so God is technically the force.
Correct.
The force
Jack,
and all.
Jack, do you remember when we had a discussion about the rain? And although we're all individual drops, we're all still the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what if God's the rain? And then
Amen.
we are water, and water holds memory, and then all of a sudden our water will dissipate, go right back to the start, come back. Is this just a recycling plant?
I think it is.
And it's collecting information for the source?
Absolutely.
You ever listen to Billy Carson? Is it Carson? Billy Carson?
Yes.
Interesting the way he looks at things and some of the information he shares.
You guys familiar with him?
No.
Jesse, I'm sure you are. Yeah, see, Billy Carson, whatever, he's one of the more fringe ones that I haven't given a ton of attention to, but there is some fascinating characters alive with us right now. People that are, bringing forth. I'm trying to think. In that category, there's others too. Stephen Greer, kind of the outer stuff. David Wilcock.
Well, if anybody hasn't gotten a hold of Billy Carson, Danica Patrick about a month ago or 2 months ago did an interview with him that was really interesting.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, look up Danica Patrick's podcast. You know who she is, IndyCar race driver?
No.
No, you should watch
Who's
IndyCar.
the person what?
Billy.
He's the black dude, right? Goes into the ancient history and stuff. Yeah. There's some fascinating things to learn, but in the end, every single one of us, we're going to learn what we're going to learn.
He's got the IRA right in the middle of his logo.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, are you sure you want to?
We don't need anything outside of ourselves to know God, though, right? Does everybody agree with that on the panel?
I would agree with
I don't
that.
think it's correct to call him a black man. You used the
Say that
word
again. Say that again,
black
Dick.
man.
We don't need anything outside of ourselves. What's in us to find God?
Would we be able to define God without something outside of
define God? I don't think you can define.
But
God.
I mean,
that's a whole
even
other argument. To know God, to have communion with God, to have.
I agree with the claim.
A relationship with the Most High. You don't.
My question is: would you name that? Would you name that force if you've never been introduced to someone?
It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Like, I just need to sit here and I have a relationship with God. I don't think it's that.
It was for Abraham.
Okay, well, we're not in the Bible. You're not characters in the Bible.
Well, this might be where you and I disagree, part ways a little bit, TBE, but in the yogic tradition,
the Bible's a closed canon. It's over.
There's many people.
The message is there.
No one's ever going to be like the people in the Bible. They're separate and special from us.
This is coming from the guy that reads the Tao. I read a general cold calling personality book.
Right, but I don't go to what I read for my results. I go to my life experience. Better to be me than it is to be you.
All I do is I read the Tao, and it's just so general, and I can just apply these things in my life.
I have gray skin and dark circles under my eyes, and I'm constantly yelling online for free.
Oh, really, Paul? Have you looked in the mirror, sir?
Mr. Judge,
it's so amazing how
I
the
have
lack
very
of
low
self-awareness
self-esteem. Everyone's better than me, except Paul Unslave. Everyone in the Bible's better than me. Paul Unslave worse.
Well, you sound very nasally, Judge.
Lou, what is in that jar?
Golly jeez.
I just finished watching a Kerry Cassidy video. She says God is the North Star. That's what I believe
today.
Lou, what are you chugging?
Hey,
I mean, let me clear something up. real quick, when
Is
Paul said yesterday, the Mithra and Jesus thing are the same because he was born of a
guess what,
virgin.
bro? I don't even give a fuck. You do. If you're
Okay,
so
okay, there he
convinced of the
goes.
truth and you
There
know
he
it, why are you
goes.
so?
There he goes.
Why are you
Vindicated
constantly
again.
fighting over it and defending it? Just go live the truth.
Vindicated
You'll be
again.
way better off.
You can't let me speak because you're
Can
such a
we
control
stop?
freak, insecure
Hold-
weirdo.
Guys
BB,
need to
You sound
wait,
just like
wait,
Provost Slave.
please.
So
You
fake
sound
it
just
out.
like Provost Slave. You sound just like What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything.
Means you sound estrogenated.
Okay, let me
What
explain something.
is going on?
This guy claims yesterday that Jesus and Mithra were exactly the same. That you know where Mithra comes from, Paul? Mithra was born from a rock. Okay,
I thought
this
it
is
came
what
from
the story
RuneScape.
was told. Okay, so apparently, if I guess a rock is a virgin, that a rock is not reproducing humans. I guess it's the same in your brain, right?
Hey,
Well,
I'm
rocks
so
are real.
childlike. I believe stories about people being born to virgins.
Well, I think
Right.
Dwayne Johnson would
This is
disagree with you
this
on
is how
that.
clueless you are. You're like you believe a book, but yet you sit here and you quote
Hey,
the
I got an
Tao.
idea.
The
Maybe
Tao. The
Mary was
Tao.
banged by
I
a
am the
black
Tao. The
guy, and
Tao.
instead of going to
No,
the
you're
family and saying it
susceptible
was
to
a
the same
colored, she said it
dilemma.
was a virgin birth from an
Wow.
angel.
Hey,
Wow.
guys,
That's
You're
interesting.
susceptible to the same dilemma.
TB,
You get your
TB,
information externally too,
I'm
buddy.
willing to believe
Okay?
things from a
TB,
book I've never
I'm gonna
seen
Just wake
before.
up. Wake
stop.
up.
I muted you to interrupt, please. I want to come back to the question I think Dick was posing about having a relationship with God. Okay, back to Jack's explanations, and please, I encourage people to consider this. If God is the truth and the Christ is love, okay, well, love is, excuse me, beyond the truth is love, right? The bliss of our
Love hurts.
infinite
Love
creator.
heals.
Everyone can understand love. Maybe not everyone has experienced it the same way, identified it the same way, but love has some common patterns that are unmistakable. Okay?
Hey Jack, would you consider inner peace to be love as well?
I'd say it's a symptom. I think well, the way I look at love is what is not love? That's the best way to get your own solid definition of what love is. And number one for me is gratitude. You know, if you don't have gratitude, there's no love. So do you have gratitude for God? You have gratitude for the Christ, for the teachings that were left behind, for the wisdom that we've been allowed to learn. And then without trust, well, if you're not grateful for something, you're really not going to care about it. And so without care, you're not going to have trust and attention. So do you trust? Without trust, there is no love. And this world that taught us to be individuals and to do everything on our own, this world taught us not to trust. The only time we can trust is right now. And so right now we have the opportunity to trust the universe, which is, I guess, what Dick was saying, the world around. Trust the universe and trust ourselves within the universe. And then if you can trust yourself within the universe and be grateful for yourself within the universe, well, then you just love yourself within the universe and there's no separation. It's just love. That's the way of the Christ.
Well, yeah, Jack. And I mean, I am a skeptic, admittedly. And then when it comes to things like trust, I mean, I think the virgin birth is a great example. It's one of those where, you know, I don't have all my apologetics in order, but when I looked into that in the past, I remember the ancient, I think it was Hebrew, or I don't think it was Greek, it was Hebrew, but it was the characterization of the virgin was actually the word for young girl, and it wasn't even characterizing her as having a status of never engaging in sex. And so because it's characterized as young girl, then they made that leap to say that because it's prophesied in the ancient text that she's now a virgin.
Sorry,
and so
my bad.
these leaps that we have to take to then say, okay, I believe now, I have faith that this girl, had a divine conception, is absurdity to me. We don't see that anywhere around us. And for me to draw those conclusions just because a book and some people said that is like way, way beyond my ability to just take that leap and say, okay, I'm going to base my whole life on some words that people wrote that don't even line up when you inspect them.
We can get lost in language very easily. That's what our logical minds will do, and that's what religions and man's laws have done.
Jack.
I mean, there's no amount of evidence that would alleviate people that just don't believe. I mean, Judas sat there and watched miracles of Jesus, and he betrayed him. Many people
One other example of a virgin birth would go a long way.
There's not going to be a VHS tape for you to watch and say, "Oh, okay, so it's true. It's all true." What,
toilet
Paul?
bowl earth. If you're
What,
so
sir?
loving and peaceful and united with Christ, why do you keep attacking me down at chat but not saying anything up here?
Because I'm not trying to interrupt when Jack is talking.
Because you're so respectful, not because you're a punk ass coward bitch.
Oh, wow.
Hater,
Wow.
jealous,
Is that loving?
envious.
Is that loving like you just said?
No, but I'm not claiming that romantic love is the only core value of the Christ in beingness. I've never claimed that. It said care in the heart, sword from the tongue.
Okay,
That's
Paul.
what it said.
Okay, Paul.
Let's stop.
Right.
Passive aggressive. Okay, Paul.
Yeah. It's all about love.
Guys,
Nobody
please.
said anything about it's all about
Everyone deserves the same amount of love.
Paul. That's how childish you are. It's not about a book. The
Even
summation
those
of our
who are
faith
not
isn't
love
a
able
book.
and honor able to
That's
serve
how.
love.
Okay, so just gish gallop over what I'm saying. Just diarrhea mouth like you do on your own prog.
Why do you keep coming at me at chat when I keep ignoring you? Do you need daddy's attention?
Well,
you came up here to obviously.
Apparently, yes, but we don't need to do it like this.
So, is that you're in a car? You got your license yet? I heard about that. I heard about you flip-flopping your license position.
Right, you heard about everything I do because you folks don't stop watching me.
Yeah, because I want to.
Watch you. You watch me for some reason.
I'm here. You making big claims, and now you're flip-flopping.
Right? Why are you constantly watching me?
I'm sorry. What, sir?
Why are you constantly watching me? I don't watch you ever.
Can we?
You're obviously here now, Paul. You're engaging with me.
Right, another
If you didn't
non-answer.
care,
I'm your
you wouldn't
daddy.
be here.
I'm your daddy.
Wow, this is pretty cringe, bro. But okay.
Change the
I guess you're doing a thing.
right?
Like, I guess you think you're doing something right now, but it's okay. You got a bunch of, to quote your own self, hater, loser, nobodies that watch you, and you call them that on a day-to-day basis, and you thrive on dysfunction and chaos, and you sit there and you do diatribes on people day in, day out with your monologue
We didn't have a
bullshit.
chaotic show the last, broadcast. You do shows, freak shows. I do broadcast. The last couple of days wasn't chaotic,
I'm sorry,
and we've had a lot of support.
I'm sorry, doctor.
You've been sold out support that's been going on the last few days.
Oh, you're going to go get high with Jack Talcott. I get it. Wow. Amazing.
Right.
Amazing, bro.
Would you like to be able to do that?
We don't. This egoic.
This guy's a clown. It's okay, Jack. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I'm a clown, but you won't keep talking about me even when I'm
both,
not speaking.
You're both showing
hours
the
at a
same. You're both showing similar patterns of behavior. Okay, so TB, there is something in Paul that attracts people. There's good to be found there, but Paul, the things he's pointing out to you, I agree with him. I've shared similar criticism of you with you. This I'm tired of this. I am so sick and tired of watching the human egos fucking waste their lives waste their talents, wasting the time and opportunities of each other.
You should be
the worst
tired.
part is,
You
Jack,
should be tired
we
of letting
can't even
Paul.
move forward and
You
find a
should be
space of
tired of letting Paul
co-creation.
bully you every fucking stream. He bullies
He's
you. He
doing it
makes you an
now.
object of.
We can't move forward ever and find a space of co-creation, even in disagreement, because everyone around Jack keeps pointing to how bad I am and what I'm doing to him.
No,
Whoa, Paul, that's,
Jack.
hey, TB, hold on.
Jack and
That
you
is
catbully
exactly
him.
what's happening with me. You're
You're a bunch of
surrounded by
clowns.
this fucking ego chamber, Paul, that tells you that you're feeding them
That's
bullshit
right.
about
I
me,
don't care.
and they're feeding you bullshit about me. You don't care. Your connection sucks.
There you go.
And Paul, this morning, I spoke about this earlier on this stream. That's how I woke up. I woke up, I see maybe, I turn on, see Paul streaming, and what do I hear? I hear Paul fucking bad mouthing me, telling all of his listeners what a horrible person I am, how I'm untrustworthy, I'm an imposter, I'm fake, I'm deceiving. And then I see the bullshit in the chat from your enablers, Paul. That was what I was addressing in the comments. So you know what? We'll talk later, but this is not the place for your chaos and for you to fucking take over my time again.
Good for you, Jack.
TV, I am ready to wrap it up though, okay?
Good for you. Sorry if I caused a little chaos here. That's this gentleman's MO, okay? That's how he operates. This is how he generates traffic. He generates and he says, oh, disenfranchised, yada, yada, yada. But he thrives on that chaos, okay? This is how he generates attention for himself. And this is how he elevates himself over others, okay? And I'm sorry if I caused that here, Jack. Peace be to you, my brother.
Hey, TB, today has been... So Paul is bringing up some fair and honest criticism of you as well, okay? We all have opportunities to improve. I appreciate and thank you, TB. I do appreciate your time and energies today. This has been fun.
I appreciate it too. I think it was a good exchange, man. I had a good time, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dick, too. Dick, maybe we could talk sometime too. We kind of sidelined his show.
TB, hang on a minute. Don't just jump off for a second. Don't just jump off. Jack, talking about the virgin birth earlier, before you go, I wanted to know, you realize there was 2 virgin births, right?
I'm not sure what you're referring.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I'm just saying, stay here because you may know this or not. I don't know. But the Immaculate Conception, what is your understanding of the Immaculate Conception in the Bible, Jack?
Immaculate Conception is a Roman Catholic doctrine about
the virgin birth.
Not the virgin birth.
Yeah,
I think is that. I mean, I'm not a Roman Catholic. I think EBT could.
The first virgin birth was Saint Anne. She was without child till she was very old, and then the angel Gabriel, I believe it was, that came to Mary. The same angel came to Saint Anne and said that she would be with child.
I think the Immaculate Conception is more about the state of Mary rather than the actual virgin birth. The virgin birth is
because Mary was born to a virgin. She was the Immaculate Conception.
Okay, no. I think you're conflating things here, man.
I think if you look into it, the Immaculate Conception is because
does it matter?
Well, Jesus wasn't the Immaculate Conception.
It's not part of my. I don't.
But Scott is right that in I guess Western Christianity that is accurate.
So you're confusing the virgin birth is different from Immaculate Conception. Immaculate Conception has to do more with Mary's her I think it has to do with her original sin. Like she had no part in the original sin, which would make no sense because then she would be an Edenic human rather than a human coming after the fall.
I stand corrected. Yeah, you guys are right. I was wrong. I'm rusty on my Catholicism.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe EBT can correct me. That's that's kind of my my Cliff Notes version of that. But that's
Okay.
what Immaculate Conception means, that she had no effects from the fall.
Your conception
I
is
might
when
be
your
wrong.
daddy, you were conceived on the night your daddy and your mama had relations. That is conception.
Yeah, the night that I fucked your mother, he's talking about.
Wow,
I'm your daddy.
amazing
Yeah.
contribution, Paul. You're amazing. Wow, you're not attention
Son of a
seeking
bitch.
at all. Amazing. I'm not Roman Catholic. The Orthodox don't adopt that position, so you'll have to ask somebody. If you want more detail on that, I guess you'll have to go to more Roman Catholic studies about that. So,
how did Jesus come about if not through Immaculate Conception?
Turns out Joseph was the only virgin.
But
there you go.
I do want to just say those are two different things going on there. Immaculate Conception and the virgin birth are separate.
No, absolutely. Conception is when daddy and mama got together and conceived the child, and birth is actually birth.
Okay, but that's just what they call the doctrine. They call the doctrine Immaculate Conception. It has nothing to do with the birth, because the word conception is in the title of the doctrine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes, it's the act of conceiving. It's the process of
the word.
It's the fucking.
What the hell is the point of this conversation?
I'm sorry.
Moving
Jack.
right along,
He
Jack.
asked me to stay, and I'm just trying to help him. All right, I'm out of here, Jack. Have a great night, buddy.
Thank you, brother. God bless. Scott, anything else?
The whole point behind that is that we know less than we think we know, and we kind of maybe don't know anything at all. If you go into that Billy Carson thing, the next part of that I was going to discuss is how he started talking in the Danica Patra interview, no doubt, about how the King's Chamber and all that, a lot of different things. Just watch it. I don't want to even go into it and try and remember it. I'll fuck it all up. All right? Pure and simple. But, Jack, have a good night. Good stream. Interesting stuff, and I just think it's weird that we believe a lot of things that we were taught by people who have tried to deceive us, I think. And for the most part, they've done a pretty good fucking job. So, hey, that's how it is. Be good. If you can't be good at it.
Thank you, brother. Yep. Many people deceive themselves. That is certain.
Hey, Jack, I'll say some final words. One thing, Paul talks about we're all one self. It's all one, and in a way, I agree with that. And in one way that you and Paul particularly are similar, in my belief, in my perception, is that neither one of you can withstand any sort of criticism.
You're wrong.
And anytime anybody does,
Hey Lou, you're wrong. I received. Hey Lou. Go back and view the amount of criticism and insults and bullshit that I receive. Okay. And then see how much I actually engage with and how much I actually fight off. Okay. I receive insults and criticism all the time. You want to gaslight and compare me to Paul in that aspect? Paul is the one who lacks humility, Lou, and you're one of his biggest fucking enablers since day one. You too, Dick.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Facts show what they are.
What facts are you talking about?
That you enable Paul's behavior, particularly towards me, that you feed his bullshit, his narratives, and deflect from what I'm offering so that what I'm offering doesn't receive the value that it could.
Can you tell me how I'm doing that, though? Because those are allegations. Those aren't facts. So it'd be hard for me to adjust if you can't give me a specific example or some kind of, thing.
Tell you what, Dick, I've encouraged everyone to go and use some self-awareness, and there's records of our interactions. It's been a little while since you and I have shared time together, but it's not in the consistency, but the pattern is there. That when I say something, it's typically Lou and Dick, Moose, either interrupt, or as soon as I do say something, if I do get an opportunity to talk, it's an automatic deflection to a different topic. And then it's also just, I see it. people will see what it is, but I know what I know.
I will say I definitely am trying to follow where you're taking the conversation, and I hope you've seen that the last time I was up and this time, that, you know, if you tried to move in a different direction, even if I was going to bring something else into it, I was incorporating it into what you were talking about, just out of respect to you, because I know that's a pet peeve of yours. So I am trying
Thank you for saying that.
to honor you in that.
Please, while I'm offering criticism, I'm not blind to the good that everyone brings as well. So, Dick, please don't mistake my words as though I don't welcome what you offer, because I love the insight you offer many times, and your method of communication. But my life is what it is, and I'm encouraging people. I don't know. Do what you will.
Well, Jack, you know, you're constantly getting picked on, you're constantly getting attacked, and, you know, people come up and they gaslight you. They say they're going to come up here and, you know, they're on other people's streams conspiring to come and be nice to you. So when you respond in certain ways to people, you know, that's justified with what you see and the behaviors that you present, you know, that they presented. You know, so that for me, for you to be able to, you know, come up here and continue on with this, and, you know, are you handling it the best you can? Probably. You're doing the best you can. Are you handling it perfectly? Who's perfect? We're aspiring, we're trying to get better every single day. But when you're constantly being attacked all the time, you know, it's hard to get to that point where you're just at that peaceful, loving place, and then people judge you for snapping, and you get to the point where people are poking and poking and poking, and then when someone is coming at, as a comment, maybe not poking, you're already in that head mind space because you've been dealing with the poking all night, you know. So sometimes you do jump at people where it's unjustified. But, you know, when you see the whole picture of people that are attacking, you know, I can get why you get into that space, right? And then they turn around and say Jack can't, you know, he's a narcissist, and Jack hates women, and, you know, all these kind of things. But when they've conspired to make him push and push and push, and then you respond to them, now all of a sudden it's you and not them, and that's where people are blinded. And Dick, I love the dandelion tea. Good for you, brother. Healthy. You know, Mother Nature provides stuff around us. Why is dandelions growing all around? Because people need them. You know, that's people are and, you know, so good for you on that and staying healthy. And I wanted to respond about the, you know,
man,
the
dandelion's faith. Awesome. People don't give it enough credit. I mean, it's not a weed. It's a fucking beautiful, magical herb. The root is amazing, you know, roasted dandelion root for teas. It's a great coffee alternative. It's actually a diuretic as well, so it will give you kind of an uplifting boost of energy. And then, you know, the leaf, everything, the flower, you can eat it. Just don't eat it out of a glyphosate lawn, because, of course, it's covered in Roundup Ready pesticides, and it'll probably give you ball sack cancer. But if you have a nice, clean piece of land somewhere that you can get some fresh dandelion in season, man, that's prime time right there. Good stuff.
For sure. And when you were asking the question about, you know, the faith and, you know, kind of what was the other one? You said faith and belief, right? I think faith is just knowing, and belief is trying to figure out whether or not you have faith in it or not, right? If you have faith, you just know. And that's, I think, the difference between the knowing and believing.
Yeah, that didn't resonate with me, but I won't argue.
Hold on, I've been fucking patient, Dick.
You have. I was just responding to what he said, but
I know you guys will keep responding. I've already said I'm ready to wrap it up, and I want to address this right in front of you guys. You guys might not fucking care, but I do. Someone pretending to be my son, after all the things I'm saying, all the things I'm offering. You guys are oblivious to this, but hey, thanks for joining the panel. Fucking state of humanity today. The lack of awareness, respect of others, the lack of heart, the lack of care, This doesn't have to be an evil world, brothers and sisters. This does not have to be a world of uncaring, calloused people who only care about their characters and their entertainment and their opinions. It doesn't have to be this way, brothers and sisters. The trolls aren't getting to me. See, my disappointment is my own fault. It's because I come on here every day offering my faith, my belief that God will expand the minds, soften the hearts, will convince people to care about one another. Because, as I said, if we come together and we care about one another, we'll stop wasting our days blaming, gossiping, complaining for profits. We'll stop gossiping, blaming, and complaining, and we'll come together and we'll end this damn corruption. This is our lifetime to do it, brothers and sisters. And I try to be Christ-like. I try to be nice. I try to keep my profanities in. You guys don't give a shit. And that's what I'm looking at there in my face.
Yeah, well, if you're trying, you're failing miserably, Jack, because you're getting triggered.
Yeah, I'm not getting triggered, though. That's what you don't understand. I allow myself to be me, and I'm comfortable being me. And one day, Paul Unslaved, you'll recognize what a fool you've been with me and many others. But here's the thing, brother. You're not alone. There are many people creating records of their lack of character, their lack of integrity, spreading assumptions and false narratives of me. There's lots of people that you can be a part of, Paul. You're part of a big group. I stand proudly alone, filled with love, knowing there's others like me that you don't know of, that I do, that I'm not alone. I'm not the odd one. I'm not unique. There's a lot of people who are here to change the world. Brothers and sisters, thank you very much. Very profound conversations, but the key is increase your awareness. What can you know? Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, live without fear. God bless.